when I get a recommendation or I ask a coach in that area about a kid, the feedback that I get is phenomenal, and they are doing everything they can to market their players. And that's why I love going to St. Louis, love going to Missouri. It makes my job easier, and then really being able to see the talent level there is just fun. I love recruiting St. Louis.
You are now tuned in to the Elite Report with Dorian Brown and Tyler Coleman.
We are here. This is week 5, and this is the Elite Report presented to you by Elite Amateur Sports. I am Dorian Brown.
I'm T. Coleman, Guwap Tyler Coleman.
And we back. Let's get into the recap.
We back.
No cap. Hazelwood East. Hey, I know a little something too. Hazelwood East versus Riverview. The game got moved from Thursday night to Saturday morning. Hazelwood East and Riverview played the first half pretty close. And then
Hazelwood East came out and dominated. QB Torrey Dyson, I heard he had a good game.
Yep.
Former Soldan quarterback, correct?
Yes.
So he's over there, and I think he starting to try to put his own little mark on it.
And the mark he's putting at 3-1. Riverview, where was you at? Next we got Fox and Melville. You picked?
I picked Melville.
I picked
Fox.
And Fox put that thing on 50-13. What happened?
Fox is the better team. They came out to play, and that is why they're still undefeated, correct?
Yes.
Does that make you feel good?
Yes.
Okay. Didn't you lose a game too this week?
I don't know about all that.
Okay.
Next.
Now let's talk about the CBC Dismet game.
Yeah.
CBC came out hot, came out on fire. Got the win. We both picked CBC.
Yeah, they were who we thought they were.
Now, I had a chance to go back and watch the CBC Dismet game, and Dismet actually had opportunities that they actually missed, but CBC was just too powerful, and Davion Bradford was I'm sorry, I said Davion, but Brian Bradford, my bad. He was just too powerful for him.
Yeah, he had, I believe, right over 300 yards.
Yeah, he had a play that he went 93 yards from scrimmage, and then he had another play he went like 74 yards or something like that. He was moving. And showed a little speed, too.
Showed a little speed. Now, the next game that we had actually hasn't been played yet. They moved that game to Monday, 5 o'clock. Hazelwood Central versus Hazelwood West. We both got West. They should win, barring any craziness going on. And our game of the week was Jeff City.
Jeff City had a running back. Don't remember his name, but he had a good day, a very, very, very good day on the ground. Had a kick return for a touchdown. He had 2 big runs for touchdowns as well.
And Jeff City QB looked impressive. I heard he was like a discus state champion.
Yeah.
Which you don't find too many quarterbacks in the discus, in the track and field. So that was kind of.
I will say this though. Slew's very young, which we got to figure out. I think they're gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think that they have good pieces. They have 2 NFL coaches on their coaching staff. Former NFL players.
Yep.
On their coaching staff. So that's gonna be huge. And if the kids really digest what those coaches are saying and buy into the system, which I think they will, I think they'll be successful.
Yeah, I think the culture just has to change there at SLU, and it'll take a couple years. But once the culture changes and they really buy into what the coaches are preaching, they'll be one of the top teams in the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri. So with the recap, those 5 games,
we missed.
One game is yet to be played. We both went 3-1.
Yep.
And we both picked the same team on this next game that happens Monday night. So
as of right now, we're 12-4.
We're both 12-4. I can't leave you in the dust yet. I don't know why, but it's gonna happen soon.
Great. I do this.
You do this. 12-4 right now with one game to spare, which is Monday, which most likely will be both 13-4. I'm looking forward to this week's games. But
we did go to Parkway North, Parkway West.
Oh, yeah, we did. And Parkway North got their first victory of the year. What do you think about Parkway North and specifically their two big prospects in Jelani Williams and CJ Boone?
Let me be completely honest with you about Parkway North. It was crazy. Jelani Williams showed me that he was a good safety. CJ Boone, the quarterback, really couldn't deliver him the ball, so we didn't really get a good eye test of him. But a guy that I was more impressed with.
Wait! Before you talk about the guy who you're impressed with, we want to send a special shout out to CJ Boone for committing to the University of Missouri over the weekend. He's a wide receiver, about 6'3", runs up 4'4", 40, something like that. He's gonna be a Mizzou Tiger. So salute to you.
And the guy that I was impressed with in the game that I didn't know anything about going in was Napier Perkins. The game was a close game in the first half. He didn't play. He was hurt. I found out. Came back out in the second half and put his stamp on the game with powerful runs, time after time, and finishing drives.
Yeah, he's a junior running back for Parkway North. This is his first game of the season, actually. I hurt his hamstring, and then he was out the first half because the coaches wanted to make sure that he was good and ready to roll. And when he came out, he changed the game around.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I thought he did a phenomenal job coming in and changing the pace of the game, really.
Definitely. He was a solid player.
Now, we got a special guest coming.
Very special guest.
Clint Cosgrove from National Preps, Director of Midwest Scouting, has over 250 college football teams that contact him to figure out who is the guy.
Who is the guy?
And we have him right here.
Let's bring him on.
Let's go. How you doing today, Clint?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Good. Hey, we wanted to get into a couple questions with you, man. We got a chance to see you at the Eastside game. It was a good time for us. It was a good environment. But I really wanted to start with how do most college coaches get in touch with you?
I'm a part of National Prep, and we're one of the top, scouting services, evaluation services in college football. And then as I've done it, people have gotten to know me. And then also I was a college coach before. It's a little mix of coaches coming to me from knowing what I do, knowing me, and really just kind of getting prospect information out there and just attaining clients. And then when I first started, we were probably in the 200 range, and we add more and more each year. And a lot of that will come from a lot of our clients have a lot of success, and whether it's an individual coach or the head coach that moved on to a new school, they will add us there. It'll be one of the first things they do because usually they're hired late in the recruiting process and they need to catch up, so they'll reach out. So that's one way we attain new clients. And then as well as individual position coaches, they recruit an area, they've used me, they've used us, and when they get sent on the road, they'll try to create a partnership with us so that we can assist in their recruiting needs. So it's multifaceted, but a lot of it's word of mouth, and a lot of it is helping them. And when they need to go out recruiting, they rely on us, to be really the first step in their recruiting process.
Clint, this is Dorian. I'm going to ask you a little bit about the early signing period. Now that we're almost a year into the first one, what, if any, changes have been made on the coaches and the university end for the early signing period?
Yeah, it's really changed a lot for both sides. I think there's positives and negatives to both sides. And with it being relatively new, I think it's a good thing, but I also think there's some changes that can be made to make it even better. And it's kind of a trial and error process because it's never been done before. And so there's still a lot to learn, but there's also a lot to improve. I would say, just some of the things that come to mind right away are, we all know that recruiting has been starting earlier and earlier, every year, before Hudl and all of that. You had to go and track down film. You had to have it sent physically. Sometimes back in the day, there was one film, and if you were the first coach to get to the school and get it, you might be the one to get to evaluate first. Obviously with Hudl and the internet, a lot of that has changed. So that already made the process start earlier. But now that the timeline's moved up, you as a coach are forced to identify, recruit, contact, get kids on campus earlier so you can keep up. So that's one thing. It's gonna continue to push it earlier. I think even with the lower division, their idea is, if we can get in on a kid early, do a good evaluation, scout these kids, we might be able to sign them. T2 schools are trying to get kids to sign during the early signing process so that the bigger schools can't get them. So if you do a good job evaluating and scouting, you can lock up a kid early and not allow them to be a lady dumb.
I heard you mention a little bit about the Hudl, and that kind of brings me to my next question. What do most colleges look for when they're watching Hudls, and how would you say a kid needs to be able to put his Hudl together to catch a college coach's eye?
Yeah, so as far as what they're looking for, it's obviously going to be position specific, but just going overall, coaches are looking for what you can be. Not what you are right now, but what you can be. How athletic is this guy? How much is he going to grow? They want to see flashes of your max potential. If you're a kid who's, maybe tapped out and makes you have great stats in high school, that doesn't necessarily matter. They're projecting of who you can be for their program in a few years. And, other things across the board, no matter what position it is, they want kids who can bend, not a stiff kid. Because in high school, you can get away with maybe having a little, worse change of direction because you play a little high and you can't bend as well. So that is important. Overall athleticism, body control, and mechanics. Because the margin for error in college is so much, lower than it is at the high school level. You can get away with maybe not being the ideal size or not the ideal athleticism or bend or body control. But in college, that can be negated, just like it is from college to the NFL. The margin of error is so much lower. So those things are really important. Length. You hear length all the time from college coaches. There's a big difference between a guy who is 6'3" and a guy who's 6'1", because think about how many times in football you see a tackle miss because they're 2 inches too far away, or a batted ball because they were 2 inches lower than the ball. So those inches make a big difference. Twitch is a big thing. Are they quick? Are they explosive? Can they play violent? That is important. It's motor. If a kid's lazy in high school, they're probably going to be lazy in college. You want guys who love football. They play like their hair's on fire. You can see that on film. And physicality. You got to be a physical guy. You got to love football, love contact to be a great player at most positions. So coaches are looking for those things on film. As far as making a film that's going to attract coaches' eyes, you want to have your most explosive, your wow plays, the plays that make you look like, what your max potential is. You want those at the very beginning. A lot of kids, they try to space out their best plays. They want to keep a coach's attention. They're like, well, I'll put my best play here, and then 3 plays later, I'll put a second best play. You don't want to do that. You want to do anything you can to make the coach keep watching your film. And that's not necessarily a great statistical play. If I'm a running back and I have a 30-yard run, but I ran through a wide-open hole and then somebody catches me from behind, as a recruiting coach that's recruiting a running back, The whole run was given to him because he had a great O-line, yet he couldn't finish it because he got caught from behind. So it's not necessarily a great statistical play that is going to, stand out to a coach. I'm looking for the play. If it's a 7-yard run, but he ran over one guy, made another guy miss, got his foot in the ground, and he gets upfield, those are the type of plays you're looking for. Max athletic potential. That's what coaches want to see, and you want to keep their interest. So really front load the film, and if they want to see more of you, they're going to go and watch game film anyway. They're going to come see you in person. So that's really a preview of what your max ability is, and you want to make your Hudl highlight in a way that displays that.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of great information for these high school athletes to have.
Dropping that knowledge on us, Clint.
Got it.
The next question is, you got the coach's attention. Now they're going into your social media. How big of a role does a student athlete social media account play in the recruiting process?
Oh my God, it has changed so much. Let's see, my last year coaching was, I think, 2012, and I didn't even have a Twitter back then. I had Facebook.
Hey, quick question. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
Hey, Clint, I apologize. You've mentioned that you coach. I just want to make sure that everybody understands where you used to coach at real quick before you get into your point.
I spent time at University of Nebraska, University of Minnesota, and then Dartmouth College in Ivy League.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So I think I coached for 7 years at the college level, at the Division I level. In a number of different roles. I was on defense always, and I was a defense back coach. So that's kind of my passion.
My bad. I just wanted to make sure we got that before we forgot. My bad.
No doubt. Where were we at?
The social media.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, 2000, I think it was 2012. The year's kind of flown, but, I didn't even have a Twitter, like I was saying. I had Facebook, and really, I didn't want to, and this was before social media was big in recruiting as a coach. I kind of let that be their space, and, I didn't want to get in their Facebook world. Twitter's a lot different, but nowadays, I would say social media is one of the biggest changes in recruiting. And it is so important for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is if I'm a coach and I like a kid and I don't know anything about them and I don't have any contact information, maybe their high school coach didn't get back to me, I can't find anything online. In the past, I might have to just show up to the school. Well, now I can find them on Twitter. And, I can start that recruiting process. I can reach out to them. There was no way to do that in the past. And so that is one big thing. And that being said, I would say as a recruit, if I can't find you on Twitter, that's an issue. Because you're losing out, there's 100 other kids that I might be able to find and communicate with, learn more about, start a relationship with. Because they actually use their name or something close to it on their Twitter, than something like, Big Baller 2001. Like, I might never find that guy. So, communication is a huge part of it, and being able to find kids is a huge part of it. Really, the easier you can make yourself be recruited, the more information that is out there about you, the better chance you have to be recruited. So that's one thing. I would say another thing is it gives an athlete a chance to market themselves. Twitter is one of the only avenues in the world where anybody can communicate with another person who has Twitter. Some random guy in Idaho can talk to a celebrity online because of Twitter, and they might get a reply. So that is unique with Twitter. So anybody can contact anybody if they're doing things right on Twitter. Now, the biggest thing from an evaluation standpoint is it is a huge character evaluation. Coaches want kids that aren't going to give them headaches. As a college coach, you have enough headaches. You're chasing kids around to make sure they have to go to class if you don't have kids that are academically focused. be on time, to be dependable, to be accountable. Those are things that you can identify and evaluate through somebody's social media presence. You know what I mean? Like, whether you tweeted it or you retweeted it, that is a statement of what is important to you, who you are. You are showing the public and coaches how you act on a day-to-day basis. If you're tweeting about going out and partying or, things that are disrespectful to women, that right there can get you unrecruited by a number of schools in the click of a button. So it's a huge, huge character evaluation. You can tell a lot about a kid, the language they use, the things they retweet, the things they like on Twitter. You can tell a lot about a kid, through that. Now, the other thing, for kids, it can be unfortunate sometimes. I didn't have to deal with social media when I was in high school. It came out at the end of my college experience, and I can't imagine what it's like, the pressure to, whether it be look cool on social media or, show your offers on social media, all these things. So I understand it might not be easy, and, kids didn't have to deal with that back in the day, but it is what it is. And so a social media presence is important, and you want to market yourself the right way. It gives you a chance to really market yourself the right way. And so it can be a big advantage, but it can also kill your recruiting as well.
These are great points. Last question we have for you is a kind of a local question. How does the state of Missouri and specifically St. Louis rank amongst some of the other states and cities that you cover?
So, I'm going to give you a little background on me in St. Louis and Missouri. So, I'm partial to St. Louis. I'm partial to Missouri, and a lot of that comes from my dad recruited Missouri and St. Louis with a lot of success for a long time. So, my dad's always been a college football coach. The evaluating and being around football is something that I've been doing since, when I was 4 years old, I was going on plays and going to practice. And I'm very lucky that I had a dad that was in the profession. But my dad recruited St. Louis for a long time. And back in the day, St. Louis was big time. A lot of great players. Some of the guys that my dad recruited from Missouri to Wisconsin were like Terrell Fletcher, big time running back, played in the NFL. Jamar Fletcher from Hazelwood East. Terrell and Jamar both went to Hazelwood East. Jamar was he was a Thorpe Award winner, the best defensive back in college football. Aaron Gibson, the first 380-pound college offensive lineman. Those are all Missouri guys. So I grew up with a great respect. Brandon Williams more recently. From St. Louis as well. So I grew up with a great respect, and when I was a kid, I thought, St. Louis was the world in recruiting. So that's something that's always been big to me, and then I recruited it when I was in college, when I was a college coach as well. Now, one thing that back in the day, St. Louis was putting out a ton of prospects, and then there was kind of, as I'm sure you guys know, and I could be off, but I feel like there was a little lull for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
There wasn't as many big-time prospects coming out. Maybe football wasn't as important, but now it is back to. There's a lot of great kids in St. Louis who go back for their kids. There's a lot of organizations in St. Louis that are developing football players, and there's a lot of kids who love football and are great football players in St. Louis. St. Louis has really transformed, in my opinion, over the last couple of years, and the younger classes are even better, which says a lot. So as far as where they are and what they recruit, numbers-wise, I'm part of the Midwest, so I don't scout Florida, I don't scout Georgia, California. We have other people that I work with who do, but as far as the Midwest goes, numbers-wise, Illinois and Michigan usually have the highest number of NLI in the last few years, which is Division I, better to the 10th time.
Yeah.
And then of the Midwest. Now, what I see happening is I think the Missouri numbers are going to, come closer to the, Chicago and Illinois, the Michigan numbers. even though I don't believe they have as much of a population. But the number of blue chip recruits in St. Louis per capita, I can't imagine there being more anywhere else. There's really, elite BCS, we have a rating system that's elite BCS, major D1, FBS, FCS, FCS D2, D2, D3. Elite BCS players, per capita, per amount of players that I have in my database for each state, I would say St. Louis and Missouri as a whole are as high as anywhere in the Midwest. And these aren't just normal players. Elite BCS to me is a player that a school that does not recruit the Midwest, maybe from the South or the West, those type of teams are making a trip just for that player. That's what an elite player is, a national recruit. And Missouri has a lot of them, a ton of them. I was kind of looking at my database earlier as far as, Missouri recruits that I have rated as scholarship players in the 2020, 21, 22 class. And I've already identified close to 100 players in those classes that I see as Division I kids.
Wow.
So, and it wasn't, I probably 3 years ago would have probably had in the 45 range.
Yeah.
So that's just testament to the coaches down there, the players down there, the importance of football down there right now. And big things are happening in Missouri, and it's fun to see. And another thing that makes it great is sometimes it's pulling teeth to get information from coaches about their players. Some coaches don't see recruiting as being part of their job in places. Some coaches want to get the credit for players, so they want to be the ones getting out the information, which can be a disservice to the kids, even though the coach is the most important part of the recruiting process for a kid, because that's going to be ultimately who a college coach is going to talk to and make a decision on offering a kid or not. But the thing I really like about the St. Louis coaches is they are eager to get their kids out, and they know what they're talking about. It's not like they're hitting me up on, a kid with a D3 talent saying this kid's a D1 kid. They know what they're talking about. And when I get a recommendation or I ask a coach in that area about a kid, the feedback that I get is phenomenal, and they are doing everything they can to market their players. And that's why I love going to St. Louis, love going to Missouri. It makes my job easier, and then really being able to see the talent level there is just fun. I love recruiting St. Louis.
Clint, man, to say that you dropped a lot of knowledge on us is an understatement. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate talking to you. It's definitely a pleasure to have you on.
It really is, Clint. If you ever in the area, you ever need anything from us, hit us up anytime,
I really appreciate it, guys. I had so much fun talking with you guys down at the Gateway Classic. It was an awesome event. And I spent, hours talking with you guys.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from you guys, too. Just, learn about kids in the areas, your thoughts on things. It was an absolute pleasure, and I really appreciate it, and I've enjoyed getting to know you.
Definitely.
We appreciate it, Clint. We're here with Clint Cosgrove, Director of Midwest Scouting for National Preps. He's the man with the plan. Appreciate you coming on, Clint.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. You have a great day.
You too.
Man, that interview was awesome, man. Clint is first of all, he's a class act, and two, he's a professional, and three, I think we met a new friend.
This dude also we made a new friend.
I think we met a new friend.
No, we did. Clint's the man. He's the man.
He's the man.
But you're cooked for that.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
This is an old man talk right here.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Man, let's get into that thing.
Okay, last week we did top 5 small schools. This week we're going to do top 5 large schools. And at number 5.
Who do you got?
I like Wazoo North. They came out, did their thing again this year. I believe this is like the 4th or 5th year that they're like one of the elite programs in Class 5. They're still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And they're rolling.
They are. My number 5 is the Eureka Wildcats. Led by two-sport athlete Avery Taggart, going to SIUE to play, SIUC, I believe.
Yes, see.
To play basketball and football. But let's talk, the reason I got Eureka at my number 5, they got a couple impact players I want to mention. They got a quarterback that's a little bit younger. His name's Carter Davis. He's thrown 41 for 54, 646 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions on the season. They have a balanced running game with Jalen Sanders. He has 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 6.9 yards a carry. Then their horse, Avery Taggart, has 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 13 yards a catch, and he only has 14 receptions. That's pretty impressive to me. And Sanders, Antonio Sanders, cornerback and wide receiver for the Wildcats, has 213 yards on the season on 9 catches. He's averaging 23 yards a catch. He has 2 touchdowns on offense, and he also has 2 interceptions on defense. So he's kind of having a little bit of an impact on both.
Definitely impressive.
Let's talk about that number 4 squad.
Number four. I'm going to go to the Eel side and go Belleville West. Belleville West came in out here and spanked on Fort Zumwalt West last week, and they have Randolph, who's one of the top recruits in the area at tight end. So I feel like Belleville West right now is my number 4 school. They have to take on East St. Louis, City of Champions, for the conference, and that game right there should be grown men.
Grown man game, huh?
Grown men game.
I put Fort Zumwalt North as my number 4 team. It seems like haven't got a chance to see them, but from what I have known about them from last year and what I've seen a little bit just from a couple of game clips and stuff, I'm going to put them in my number 4. They have a little bit of a balanced run game. They got the quarterback has over 100 rushing yards running. They got a couple other guys with a couple 100 rushing yards. So it seems like they have a pretty balanced attack.
Yeah, they'll spread you out and run the ball.
That's my number 4 team, Fort Zumwalt North. You already kind of talked about them, and they're undefeated.
Yep. Number 3, who you got?
My number 3 team.
Number 3.
It hurts me to say this. Oh, no. Nah, just fine. But no, Kirkwood Pioneers.
Kirkwood.
They got a Mizzou commit, Maurice Massey. He's doing pretty good this year. He has 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 17 yards a catch.
Big wide receiver.
Then they got Jarius Macklin. He has 3 touchdowns, averaging 16 yards a catch. Then the quarterback has been a surprise, Cooper Wise.
Mr. Wise.
64 for 96 with 916 yards, 10 touchdowns. And you know the most impressive part? He ain't got no interceptions.
No turnovers.
And you know what? My number 3, Kirkwood, they'll be facing my number 5, Eureka, real soon, and that's going to be an explosive match.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to be there.
Yeah, and let me give you a quick little background about the reason that game means a lot.
Why does it mean so much?
So, the former Eureka head coach is now at Kirkwood. Left a couple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. He knows that system. He knows those guys. He knows the Eureka way. He knows what they want to do. And Eureka, I don't think they've beaten him since Coach Sheldon has got to Kirkwood. So they're looking for that, and I think it's going to be a nice little touch. So that's it.
So you gonna wet the palate of all our listeners just a little bit on that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just
a little dab. Dab
See, there
on
he goes
him.
again.
Dab on him.
There he goes again.
My number 3 is also Kirkwood. They've been impressive. I don't think anybody has come, gave him a real matchup yet. So I'm waiting to see that Eureka matchup. Matter of fact, I'm waiting to see who's gonna show the dominance in that game. I believe Kirkwood plays Pattonville this week. That should be a good matchup as well. So That Kirkwood gets into the meat of their schedule, and we'll see how well they are. Number 2.
My number 2 is the East St. Louis Flyers, led by running back Mr. Devontae Witherspoon. Has 8 touchdowns in the season.
Horse.
He runs the ball hard. And they got a quarterback, Mr. Tyler Macon.
Sophomore. Hasn't played the best, but when it counts,
he makes plays. We got to see him. We've kind of told you guys a lot about Eastside already, so we're not going to get deep into it. But that's my number 2. Who's your number 2?
Number 2 is Eastside, man.
So we both agree on that.
Flyers.
Okay.
Top 2. Not 2, but number 1.
See, he trying to quote that Drake, and he don't even know what he talking about.
Hey, don't worry about that.
He said, I'm top 2, but I'm not 2.
Well, I almost put them at 2. But they're too good.
Yeah, okay. We back to life, back to reality.
CBC.
CBC's my number 1.
Man, shout out to CBC. They're when you're number 1, everybody wants to
the
throne.
Thing that's crazy though about CBC being number 1 is they've been number 1 for a good majority of time, either number 1 or number 2, and somehow, no matter what group of kids come in there, their coaches know how to humble them and let them understand you still got to work. And that's been the thing that I've kind of been impressed with them, is being able to stay afloat. They don't really get on the social media and really talk, even though Mr. Gabbard did make some, what did he say?
I'm going to paraphrase it, but he said, we're still number 1 in this thing.
I think he said we run this.
We run this. We run this town tonight.
Nah, he's cooked. Yeah, I love it. But no, they got Gabbard. He's out there making big plays. He has 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Julian.
They have Julian Williams, a wide receiver he's been on the scene since last year.
Brian.
Powerful running back. He has 641 yards. He has 11 touchdowns, averaging 11 yards.
MJ, not Michael Jordan.
MJ Anderson. First series, he lets you know he's here to stay.
Bang bang.
This week he had 2 sacks, but we done. We're not gonna do all that talking about CBC, because people think that we from CBC homers or something. We ain't go to CBC. I went to Ladue. You went to Webster. I did.
Webster Groves.
I did.
So just for the people to know, they're just that good. I'm just letting you know they're that good. If you want to play them, you better be ready.
Now let's get into our predictions and game of the week.
Game of the week.
Let's first talk about Dismet Vianney.
Dismet Vianney, that's a one heck of a matchup. MCC, these 2 teams are fighting for the second spot in MCC though.
Yep.
Who's gonna win it?
Give me the madmen of the Spartans of Dismet.
Sparta!
Because I'm going to tell you guys something.
Yeah, why?
This is why. Okay. They came off of a tough loss to CBC.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing in the game that I watched, I told Dorian about this last night, that I was most impressed about. And everybody can go look back at it. Mm-hmm. Jordan Johnson caught a touchdown pass. After he caught the touchdown pass, he didn't get amped, he didn't get hyped.
Mm-hmm.
He literally gave the ball back to the referee, ran towards his sideline, shook him maybe a couple hands, and told the kicking team to go ahead and go out there. That was special for me. That kid understands, hey, we ain't here, we ain't did or nothing. Mm-hmm. We didn't do what we were supposed to do. Let's not be all amped up and let's go out here. I think his focus is going to lead to the win, and I think that's the reason I'm going to pick this man.
That's sweet. That's sweet. I'm going to tell you why I'm picking Vianney.
Okay, talk to him.
Experience.
Yep.
These guys been there. They know. They take nothing for granted. Now, while Jordan Johnson takes nothing for granted, he needs to tell the other guys, specifically the defense, hey, take nothing for granted. Every play counts. I like Deani. I really like what they're doing. The program that they have presented is going in the right direction. We got Griffin John, the QB. He's 54 of 86 with 786 yards, 9 TDs, only 2 interceptions, low turnovers, and I mean, you know about the Notre Dame commit.
Yeah, he's special.
Like, I just think they're too much for the Smith. I like Deani. 35-28.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Hazelwood East versus Hazelwood Central.
For those that you don't know, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but those who don't know, this is a rivalry, a big rivalry.
Yep. Who you got?
I like East.
I like Hazelwood East as well too.
They're gonna roll.
I think Dyson and those guys will be ready to play.
Yes.
Look forward to them. Let's go with Marquette versus Lindbergh.
Marquette.
You got Marquette?
Marquette.
I'm gonna take Marquette as well. They're both 3-1, but I think Marquette. I think they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, they're a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball. So then,
Career Academy. Who you got?
the battle of the PHL. You know what? When I went to the PHL Jamboree, Miller Career Academy was very good on defense. Very good. But not so fast. Sodan wins it in a close one. Closer than the Express thing. Shout out to Lee Corso.
Career Academy. Give me the W for Career Academy. I think those guys are going to be ready to go. I think that they take pride in what they do. I think that they're going to feel like they got to come up and be ready to play. And I think that defense is going to be flying around.
I'm positive they'll be flying around.
Now let's talk about the game of the week.
We talk about one of these teams a whole lot. Lutheran St. Charles.
It seems like we talk about them every week, man.
Every week. And the reason why we talk about them every week is because they have studs. Young studs on both sides of the ball.
Lutheran St. Charles is coming off of a 62-0 win over Duchesne. And
dominating.
And St. Charles is coming off a 50-40 win over Warrenton. That puts St. Charles at 3-1.
So, who you like?
Give me Luton St. Charles. I think those young boys are going to be ready to go. Jaden Wanstead, I see a big fella. I see
Hey, that Hudl look impressive.
Big fella.
I've seen a lot of flapjacks around there. Straight up.
Real life, man.
I like Lutheran St. Charles as well. We'll be there Friday night, 7 p.m. at St. Charles. This has been one heck of a show. We had so many gems, but I think you got one more for us as the tip of the week.
Tip of the week is I think that St. Louis, we got to figure out a way how to come together and at all times make sure we uplifting each other, support each other, man, because we're nothing without each other.
Nothing.
That's my real tip of the day. We appreciate you. We care about you guys. We love the direction we're going, and we love the support that you guys are giving us.
Hey, once again, make sure you email us. Make sure you hit us up, DM us. The email is eliteamstl@gmail. Hit us up, man.
We out. Hey, shout out to Clint again, man. We appreciate you.
Clint, I'll let you boy.
Thanks for tuning in to the Elite Report. Subscribe, share, and above all, stay elite.